Okay, so several of you asked about line weight and what that criterion meant in the grading, and also how you could use line weight to create a more hierarchical visual design. When I think of line weight, I like to think of adding extra line weight to the outside of objects to help give them visual prominence on a drawing. So if we go to my sheet layer here quickly, you'll note that I've got these instruments drawn, and they're all the same line weight. And so the things that are most prominent really are the containers, because they have a little bit of a heavier line weight associated to them. If I wanted to modify this symbol, if I were doing it for a scene design, I might actually go through and trace around the profile of the thing that I wanted to highlight in my annotation layer. But there's an easier way to do it with these symbols. So I'm going to go back now to the design layer. Here's my lighting design layer where I have all of my instruments. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this Celador D60. And I want to add a heavier weight line so that it appears more prominent on my sheet layer. So the first thing I'm going to do is just right click on the instrument, and I'm going to scroll down here to locate symbol in the resource manager. When I do that and I go to my resource manager, there's the instrument selected. Now if I right click on that in the resource manager, I have these options, and what I want to do is edit the 2D components. So now here in this view, I've got the instrument selected or highlighted, and I can now edit the symbol itself. What I want to do is just create a stronger profile. I'm going to leave these interior things at a lighter line weight, but just add a heavier line weight to the profile of the instrument. So I'll just select that element. I'll go over here to my attributes palette and I'll change that to a 0.5. And you see how now that becomes a much more attractive and apparent symbol on the drawing. So I'll go ahead and click exit. And when I've done that, you'll notice that every time that symbol is used, it has now been modified to reflect those changes. All right, let's do the same thing here with this practical. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to right click and locate it now in the resource manager. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and edit the 2D components. And I'll select it. I'll change its line weight. Let's do heavier than that to something that's a little more apparent. And there it is. I could do the same for every type of instrument now that I've got. Now let me show you the source 4s are a little different because they've got a lot more detail to them. So I'll go ahead and select this 36-degree source 4, and we'll find it in the resource manager. And here it is. I'll right click on it. We'll edit the 2D component. And it actually has its profile in two pieces. So I'll select that piece and that piece. I'll change the line weight. And now there's a contrast between the interior detail and the exterior detail, which makes a very, very attractive line element. And now they've all updated. I've got to update this 26-degree here as well. Now let's go to the sheet layer and make sure that what we had intended is actually coming to pass, and that it does make those instruments more prominent and more attractive. So we'll go to the sheet layer, I'll click on my stage plot, and there we have an indication of more prominent and visible lighting instruments on the drawing. Now the lighting instruments are the most important thing on the drawing. I could have done things also like change the color or other attributes, but this allows me to create a hierarchical design that shows off the most important things on the drawing, which in this case are the lights, since it is a light plot. Okay, good luck.